Good morning. We're live and together. So
Yay.
Apparently I'm kicking us off today because, as you can see, I'm dressed a little ridiculous for my 40th birthday. So thank you, Jen. And
oh, look at that. You can actually do it right.
That's right. So
Okay.
I'm going to be backwards, though, because I'll be used to doing it the other way. So anyway, welcome back to Enlightened Health and Healing, where we have conversations about mental health, spiritual health, emotional well-being, and physical. Am I getting them all right? I'm totally used to you doing this. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the importance of regrounding, centering yourself during overwhelm and stressful times. Anything on this?
No, this is perfect.
So welcome back.
So happy 40th to Christy, first and foremost.
Thank you.
So happy to be together doing this show. And guys, as Christy mentioned, we're really talking today about those moments that we get into where we just feel unraveled, those moments that you feel ungrounded or unsynced, those moments that you feel maybe like you're just getting out of your skin. I don't know about anybody else watching, but I've certainly had those moments that I just keep going. And instead of honoring and listening and paying attention, I really did detriment to myself, I have to say, at times in just pushing through when I needed to take a step back and listen. And I can tell you over the last 9 years, especially over the last several, the more that I take time to just take a step back and breathe, it actually allows me to go back in more clearer. But also I just feel healthier in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can share, can I share my week?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to anyway. It's my birthday, I get to do what I want. So this week, for me, this is kind of why this topic is really beautiful, because I've had a very, very intense week. I have chosen to be the person who is solely responsible and in charge of my kids' holiday shop at their school. And I love it, and I choose to do it, and it's a lot of stress, very long days, a lot of intense work and expectations, and a lot of hats, coordinating volunteers. And I knew that this week was going to be very intense and insane weeks ago. And so I was kind of gearing myself up for it. Wednesday, I was literally on, very, very on, stress-wise, from 5 a.m. until 10:30 at night, when I finally started like, okay, I need to be able to calm down so I can go to sleep. Did eventually do that. And the entire week I've been looking forward to today, realizing that if I just push and push and push, then today's the day that I get to kind of relax. And I want to say even Tuesday night, maybe Monday, I can't remember what part of this week, there was a day that I just took a bath too. And knowing that, and being very, very mindful that in past years, when I'm not really mindful of weeks like this, I will get sick.
Yeah.
And I had to make sure, like, of all the points that we've ever covered before, diet-wise, all the basics, I made sure all those things were really, really on, because at least for me, when I have a stressful week, I can sometimes slip into not eating the best and letting my workout routine lapse and things along those lines. And then it makes it even harder for us to have those kinds of events and circumstances that are overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so it was the only way I was able to stay centered and make it through. And now today I get to have a break and relax.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's perspective there, right? When we know we're going into a week that we have more responsibilities, we have more obligations, we know that there's just a lot on our plate this week, versus continuously putting yourself in the same stressful, overwhelming situations without taking those steps back.
Right.
And without paying attention to what our body has going on.
Yeah.
So staying with that, how do we know? Like, I'm going to just brief on this one because I think we've talked a lot about it in the past, is number one is really determining where your aligned state is. Like determining what that state is that feels good for you. Because when you know what that feels like, then you know quickly when you're getting bounced out of it.
Right. And I think that comes to what we've talked about many times before, is being self-aware enough to know where your balance point is, and so that you are able to tell more easily if and when you slip out.
Right, exactly.
And then what you need to do to get back in and why it's important.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about the importance of, right? So why is it important to take that step back when we feel that overwhelm, when we feel that we just have too much pressure going on? Guys, I can tell you first and foremost, the benefit to yourself, the benefit to your own health and your own well-being when you take that step back, not just emotionally, but health-wise, from hormonal level to, cortisol levels is one that I think of often that I know I have to pay attention to, but just overall health in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even just basic things like heart rate and blood pressure and just cholesterol levels. I mean, as a doctor, I'll look at patients' blood work sometimes, and people will get concerned about certain things that come up, and I remind them, this is a snapshot of where you were at this moment of this day, of this week, of this month. And yes, we can see big trends, and we look at those things obviously for big picture stuff, but those things can change in an instant, depending on where your body's at.
Yeah. Okay, so all of our benefits. The other thing that I look at is the benefits of what we bring to other people.
I'm gonna check Facebook.
Yeah, because here's the thing, you guys, when we're off center, when we are unnerving maybe, or maybe overwhelmed, although you may think you're being yourself and all is good, other people may be impacted in those moments by what you have going on. And just in the simple art of taking a step back and allowing yourself to recenter and rebalance, it can cause you to be able to come into a conversation differently and from a more centered place, and potentially even help that other person who may also be escalated.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have one person say happy birthday, and they went away, so I don't know where it is. Yeah, good. Not sure how I can check the comments simultaneously, so.
No worries.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So relationships, we have internal conversations, we have internal health benefits. What else? What else benefits to centering, grounding, being present? Again, I focus on the long term, the longevity of our journey and where we're headed. I think that it gives us more clarity of life, of where we want to go, as opposed to reacting or responding from stress, overwhelm, or worry in our decision making.
Yes, so with the week that I've had, like I just described, I noticed myself that when I get in weeks like that, in order to feel like I have to get things done, I feel like I have to adopt a certain energy and stress place in my body in order to do it. And that's not necessarily the case, because I've known plenty of people who can adopt a calm, relaxed disposition even in times of stress.
Right.
And so that was an interesting thought that just came to me. I can't remember what you said that brought that up for me.
Being the calm in the storm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't learned how to do that yet, especially with 3 boys.
I like being the calm in the storm. When we can be, right? Because it's all relative.
Yeah.
So, all right. Other benefits to staying grounded, getting grounded that we missed. Bottom line, you guys, I don't know about Christy, but for me, the more centered I stay and the more that I come back to that place, the better I feel. Just in whole, the better I feel. Now, as an action person, I can tell you that I feel good when I'm in action. Like, I feel good when I'm going. It can actually throw me off if I have too much downtime, or if I have too much sometimes meditation's not the right thing for me to get out of a heightened state. Sometimes it's action and working out. And I think that those are other things that we can actually learn when we come to that groundedness.
Yeah, I actually agree. It actually felt really good to be in that go. I felt really strong and really excited through the whole thing. And it's important to have a balance, to not get too worked up and hormonally overdriven and that sort of thing. And there was a point that I had and I lost it. Oh, for me, it brings me peace and harmony, balance, and joy, quite frankly.
Yeah.
It just brings me just a little bit more of a happiness state to recenter and reground, to know that, okay, I had an awesome, really busting out kind of week, and now I can go into a different energy with something else.
Yeah. Awesome. And we have a lot of ways that we can do that. We've talked about those in the past, so we won't dive into that today. And for today, for Christy's 40th, that's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
It's rejuvenating and going to the spa and taking some time. But we still wanted to hop in for a couple minutes and dance in this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else, Christy, that we missed in the spectrum of groundedness, overwhelm, joy, and staying in that space?
I don't think so. I don't have anything else on that.
No.
Of course, I mean, to me, it's really important, and of course, as we mentioned before, it looks different for everybody.
Yeah, good point. So fun, joy, centeredness. Yeah, it is different for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
We're-
go ahead.
Yeah, well, guys, we'll actually bring back another show. I think that we're just talking about what fun looks like on different people. Because I can tell you fun for me versus Christy versus other people in our sphere, I think is all different.
Right.
And I think that sometimes we think fun should look a certain way, but actually fun for me often is fitness, and it's getting out for a hike, where other people would think that that's work. And now I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
So
Yeah, fun for me was a 5K on Thanksgiving morning, and my
Yeah.
husband did not share that opinion.
right.
He let me hear it for several days after. And yeah, fun, enjoyments, even centering, grounding, all of it looks very different for everybody. And it could look different for each individual person depending on what you need in
Right.
a different moment.
So exploring different things, finding, brainstorming what all of that could look for you, trying on different things, and then seeing what feels most right and causes you to feel most aligned.
Yeah.
Good. Yay. Anything else, Christy, on your very special 40th day? 40th year?
If only I were only 40 days old.
Oh, yeah,
To
no.
make this a little different.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's all we have.
Awesome.
Next week, are we talking about being an advocate?
Yes. So, guys, we had a bit of an adjustment with me coming to town and being with Christy on her 40th this week. So next week, we're actually going to do the being our self advocates, and why it's important for you not only to know yourself and understand yourself and paying attention to yourself emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, but being the advocate for everything from what medications you take to what other direction people are telling you should or should not take, and really seeing how that fits on you. And I have several examples we're going to share next week as we dance in that conversation. So join us next Friday, 10 a.m. normal time, and we will look forward to seeing you then.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, you
Thanks.
guys. Have a good day.
Have a good one.